Okay, this is an anatomical position, right arm. This is the radius, the radial tuberosity, the ulnar notch, and the styloid process. And then looking at the hand, these are the carpal bones. Starting at the pollex, which is this thumb, it goes scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate. These are the metacarpal bones. It goes proximal, middle, distal, and the thumb only has proximal and distal, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an anterior femur. This is the head of the femur with the fovea capitis, the neck of the femur, the intertrochanter line, the greater and lesser trochanters. This is the shaft of the femur. This would be the medial side, so the medial and lateral. Right here is the condyles, and then the epicondyles. And then for the posterior side, this is also the right side. You have the gluteal tuberosity right here, and the intercondylar notch down here. And then on the posterior side, these are the condyles right here, and the epicondyles are above it. This is the sacrum in your hip bones, also called the os coxa, and this is an anterior position view of that. So here's the hip bone. This is an anterior position. So right here you have your obturator foramen. Up here is the ilium. Down here is the ischium. And this is the pubis. So this is the greater sciatic notch, the lesser sciatic notch. And this is the anterior superior iliac spine, the anterior inferior superior iliac spine, and then this would be the posterior superior iliac spine and the posterior inferior iliac spine. And there's ischial tuberosity right here. And then on the posterior side, you're going to see the acetabulum, which is where the hip bone sits. Okay. This is the patella, so that's anterior and that's posterior. That is the base, and then the apex at the bottom. This is a right tibia and fibula. Right there's the patella again. So the tibia, this is the medial and lateral condyles. This is the tibial tuberosity, and then the medial malleus. That's the lateral malleus on the fibula. And then this is the foot, which here's a closer up look of the foot. So you have your calcaneus, talus, cuboid, navicular, and then it goes medial, cuneiform bone, intermediate cuneiform bone, and lateral cuneiform bone. These are the metatarsals. This is the hallux, which is your toe, and it goes proximal, middle, distal up here. And these are the phalanges. Okay, this is the frontalis. Its origin is on the epicranius, which is on the skull. Its insertion is the eyebrow and the skull, and its action is to elevate the eyebrows. So go like that. This is temporalis. Its origin is on the temporal bone and zygomatic bone. Well, it inserts on the zygomatic bone, and its action is to move the ears a little bit, so like when you move your eyes. And then this is occipitalis, and its origin is on the occipital bone, and its insertion is to the obturator foramen in the spine down here, and it makes the head say yes and no. So like protract and retract. And then this is the corrugulator right here. This is your eyebrow muscle. It originates on the orbicularis oris and on the frontal bone, and well, it inserts on the frontal bone and it gives you the angry eyes. So it makes your eyes kind of squint down. Alright. This is the nasalis, which is your nose muscle. Its origin is on the nasal bone. It inserts on the frontal bone in the nose, and its action is to keep the nose bone sturdy. It doesn't really move. I guess you can move your nose with it a little bit. Alright, this is the zygomaticus minor and major. These muscles originate on the zygomatic bone, so that's where they get their name from, and they insert on the orbicularis oris, or the mouth, on the mandible and maxilla, and up on that process up there. And this elevates and depresses the mouth, so it allows you to open and close the mouth. That is your orbicularis oris. This is orbicularis oculi, and this is oris, around the mouth. The origin is on the maxilla in the mandible, sorry, and it inserts on the ramus of the maxilla, or the mandible, I'm sorry, and its job is to move the mouth, so open and close the mouth. Right here is the buccator, so also right here, it's going to be that muscle, and that's also the risorius. And these both actually originate on the mandible, and they insert on the mouth and the condylar process up here, which is on the mandible. And its job is to open and close the mouth while eating. And then this big one right here is the masseter, which is also kind of showing right here. And the masseter also originates on the mandible and inserts on the maxilla, or the zygomatic process. And its job is to also open and close the mouth. And now a closer look. This right here. Ooh, I'm drawing a blank. This is the depressor labii, and this is the elevator labii. So these originate on the mandible and maxilla, and that's also gonna open and close the mouth. So it's like those ones. And this is the masseter. Or not the masseter, I'm sorry. The mentalis. This is the mentalis right here. And that opens and closes the mouth. Also originates on the mandible. And then closer look. This is the sternocleidomastoid, which is this big one right here. It originates on the sternum bone and goes all the way up to the temporal bone. Its job is to move the head, saying yes and no. This is the sternohyoid, the sternothyroid, the omohyoid is showing right here, also right here. the omohyoid. All these muscles originate either on the sternum or the clavicle, and they all go up to the hyoid bone. So there's underneath, there's also the digastric, the omohyoid, and myohyoid. So they're kind of sticking up in there. They're going to be more deep than they are superficial, but you can see these ones on the top. So like the sternothyroid, the thyrohyoid, these are all originating, like I said, on the clavicle, and inserting on the hyoid bone. So that's where they get the hyoid at the end. And these all will help with opening and closing the mouth, turning the neck. The platysma